All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Smash Course. We're here to bring you the news that you need to know in the collegiate scene and beyond. So this week we have the same group of guests as episode 1, so we don't need to do any new introductions, but we will have an additional guest later on, and that's MattDotZeb, as the rest of you will, I'm sure, know. So let us kind of go right into it. This week we had our first qualifier for NorCal in the CSL. So I'm going to let the guys kind of give us an idea of what happened, who came out victorious, and what we need to know about the scene over there.
All right. So we had quite a few teams sign up. We had 9 for Smash 4, which is quite good, and 6 for Melee. NorCal has previously been a very strong region for Melee, particularly UC Berkeley. They ended up winning the event, and they also have previously won national finals before. They also got second just this past year at Melee Nationals. So congrats to UCB. They were followed up by Santa Cruz, San Jose State, and San Francisco State in Melee. And then, Joe, why don't you tell us about the Smash 4 results?
So on the Smash 4 end, we got UCSC taking it home. I was actually surprised. I thought UCD was going to take it. They were the favorites going into it, but I was told that Shaky wasn't able to compete on their team that weekend, so that would make sense why their roster is a little bit gimped. But overall, a pretty strong turnout. They had 9 teams in total, so super exciting for our first run. I consider it a success, and congrats to UCSC, my boys.
Yep, and Davis, of course, made second place at this year's Nationals, so it was definitely surprising to see them not win in their own locality. But of course, they'll also qualify for regionals as the top 4 made it out. So rounding out the top 4 is San Francisco State and UC Berkeley. So UC Berkeley notably qualified in both games, and Santa Cruz, they got second in Melee, first in Smash 4. So very strong showing by both of those 2 schools overall.
So do you think we have these 2 teams to look out for in the rest of the season? Because they're usually, West Coast is pretty strong on the rest of our games too. So this is going to be kind of like a repeat performance, I think, going into the Smash World for CSL.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's the coastal elites, man.
Yeah, right. That's right. Kind of going to be interesting to see when the East Coast gets into play. But we'll save that discussion a little bit later. I think we're going to kind of go right into the big community news, obviously, from this past week. That's Big House. And I'm going to let you guys kind of give me the background information about all the kind of drama and the intrigue and the great results that came out, obviously, for HungryBox.
So the Big House traditionally has been one of Smash's super majors, meaning that, it's one of the events to go to year to year, super well-run event. Joe Guy runs a super tight ship. And this year, one of the main storylines was really, I think, HBox versus Armada. After, HBox came out on top at GTX, sort of the balance was kind of put into question as to, who's number 1 in the world. And, on top of that, something that I don't think any of us expected to see was sort of, I think, a new era being born on the Melee side, at least, with not only Plup making it all the way to grand finals, but taking out, I think it was 3 gods along the way. So that was absolutely incredible watching that. And then on the Smash 4 side of things, Zero, he made the young climb through the losers bracket, only to be defeated by New England's own Mars, who then faced off against DeBuzz, where DeBuzz came on top. But yeah, it ultimately came down to 2 Floridians in HBox and Plup. And Juan, why don't you talk to us, man? This is your second grand finals in as many weeks. How are you taking it all in? Because you're on fire right now, my dude.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, to be honest. I just kind of just take it as it comes. And I won Shine, won GTX, and then I won my first Big House. And it's just really crazy how it all played out. But I think it just comes to show just how much people want to have the wins and how much mental game really matters when it comes down to ensuring that you play at your top level. It's I've had a lot of help with my coach just keeping me on the same mental page, and winning Big House was kind of just a result of that. I didn't go in with the intention of winning. I went with the intention of playing, and I just took it as a game. So I think sort of taking it less seriously and being more calm about it actually helps you out in the long run. But yeah, that's all I can say. I think I'm hitting a new peak, and I'm hoping that I can carry it through the rest of the year. If I get the number 1 rank miraculously, that would be pretty awesome. If not, then it's all good. I'm enjoying it for right now, and I thought Big House was a really good event. And 1,500 inch for Melee clearly shows we're still in a very good spot.
I wanted to talk about Plup's run for a bit. Now, Plup, obviously a close friend of yours. You said you were in tears when he took that set against Armada. What do you think it means, really, for Melee's metagame coming off of that performance that he just had?
So, I mean, Plup is just like, rather than being like, in a phrase, friends, where we hang out all the time, which we don't, but rather we've been in the scene, in the same city for so long. And, seeing how we both just honed our skills through Orlando's talent, we have a lot of similarities in that way. But when he finally able to beat Armada in a 7-year streak, which is almost an 8-year streak of him not losing to anyone who's not one of the gods, it really, the whole phrase of a new era is really interesting, because Leffen also made it to winners finals, and to win an event like this, you do have to go through 3 to 4 gods to win the whole event. You need to really prove that you're one of the best. But Plup just added a 6th member to that pantheon, which is really, really cool. I just think that if he can do it, like, not to say like anyone can do it, because it's a very difficult game, but obviously he put in the hours, he put in the work, and he almost did the whole thing with just Sheik, which was really fascinating for me to watch for the most part, because a lot of the times people thought that, Sheik is really good, but you couldn't do it by yourself. But now here we have someone, reminding everyone that Sheik is still, a hot top tier character. And I just hope people get inspired. I hope people see someone, a young guy like Plup really reaching pretty much as close to the top as you can, and with just so much more room to grow. It's his first time playing Armada this year, and his first time beating him. And it could be a recurring thing. It could be, not just him, but maybe other top players coming up out of nowhere and really consistently starting to take sets off of the gods. Something you don't really expect after 16 years of a metagame. But one of the things about playing Melee is that you can be, reassuringly surprised every time you go to a new national, because you really don't know what to expect when it comes to, these kind of competitions. And I hope to see it a lot more in the future, and I'm very optimistic. We're going to see it again very soon.
Awesome.
Great. Definitely a lot of, discussion about the event online. It's, it's something to see how involved the community is, and I'm always glad to get that dialogue. And Max is back, so I'm gonna let Max kind of go into this topic about the big lull, which kind of takes over from the end of Big House into Genesis. So here you go.
There's this gap historically throughout all seasons of Smash, all year-long seasons, that kind of quiets down after the hectic summer. Everyone knows about the summer of Smash. You've got your CEO, EVO, SmashCon, Shine, all these premier events right in a row, and it seems to continue all the way up until Big House right in the first weekend of October. Then there's kind of some quiet time as, of course, the school year picks back up. People get busy with midterms, finals, family time, Thanksgiving, winter break, whatever. And then it picks back up again in January at Genesis. Typically, there aren't very many crazy November and December tournaments just because people are too busy to make it out. So we've already seen most of the 2017 season just fleshed out in these first 10 months, but particularly between May, maybe June, and October. So, I mean, as far as forecasting what's coming up at the next few tournaments, I think we're looking at, the potential for a shakeup in the number 1 ranking position in both games, which is super interesting. Yeah, it's huge. It shows that Zero and Armada are not the end-all, be-all of Melee and Smash 4. So, HBox, of course, you're one of those contenders for that number 1 spot. How are you thinking your own chances are? What do you think is going to happen to the top 5, top 10 in Melee?
It might sound weird, but I think the outcome, I'm kind of the believer in the outcome is already determined, and you just got to enjoy it. And you just got to enjoy the ride on the way there. And whatever, if the work is put in, if you're meant to be the best player, clearly you have something that people don't, and if you're not meant to be it, then you learn from it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna like stress out like I was last year about being in the number one rank. I'm just gonna take it as it comes. Like if it comes, it's awesome. But if I get second or third seed, I'm cool with it too. There's more important things to me in my life right now than that. But I just want to play the best Melee I could personally play in the moment. But yeah, it's always a good thing for the spectators, obviously, to get a number one rank. Apart from this whole descent philosophy, like it's super hype seeing the underdog win. You know, even if it's like me beating Armada or Plutt beating everyone else, or one of the new demigods coming up, it's always a great thing. Even especially in the collegiate thing too.
Right, and on the Smash 4 side of things, we're kind of seeing this happen with Zero, where he's lost certainly more than he has in any previous season, but I don't think it's even enough for a new, true, definitive number one to be crowned. Like last season, we saw a ridiculously strong showing from MKLeo. Just throughout the whole season, he was definitively second, but still second behind Zero. Whereas this season, MKLeo himself has definitely fallen off. He's going to be probably between 3 and 6. Nairo is really hot after that double win on Zero at SmashCon. He also won at MomoCon, but that was before, of course, his PGR started. So the real question is, like, if Zero is number one, by how much? And I think he will be retaining that spot. Just like I would say it's probably likely that Armada would retain it in Melee as well, but you have a much better shot at usurping him than anybody does at usurping Zero. Like all the people below him in Smash 4, they have deep periods of inconsistency, whereas you're pretty much like second or first everything you go to. There's nobody else who really can take up that mantle in Smash 4. So I think we'll still see Zero number one, but just by the smallest margin again than ever before.
Yeah, in Melee, I've already had TOs telling me or posting that I'm currently seeded number one, which no one in Smash 4 is even close to being seeded number one. For the rest of the year, no matter what event Zero goes to, he can get 9th place 3 times in a row. He'll still be seeded number one for the next few events that he goes to, because that's how and consistent he is. Sure, he has losses and he has third places, and some of the guys have first, but like the only person who's even mildly close to getting that is like Nairo or even maybe MKLeo. But like apart from that, even they need to win a lot more and be a lot more consistent and not get like these bad placings as they do every once in a while. I get it. Smash 4 is a 2-stock game. It's completely volatile, and there's such a big amount of events. You're going to see that all the time. But Zero, just by any mathematics standard, no one's even close still. It'll be, if anything, like the only way he can be number one is him losing every event for the rest of the year, and then maybe around late January for someone to be seated above him. And that's either MKLeo or Nairo, in my opinion. No one else can actually do that.
I feel that Salem won 2 S-tier events in a row. He won Evo and then DreamHack Atlanta. And then since then, he's kind of been struggling to crack even into grand finals of a lot of tourneys. And we saw him just take 5th, losing to Zero quite badly this weekend. So he was like the golden child for July and August. They're like, ooh, Salem, maybe new number one or definitely top 3. But now, I don't know, is he even going to be 3rd on the rankings? We can't say it. It's too soon.
Yeah, it is too soon. But, I mean, it makes for some good television, I'll tell you that. And,
yes.
Nothing gets a crowd riled up like seeing Armada or Zero lose, or me or Nairo, any kind of big upset when you lose. It's like there's hope. They bleed. Thank God. It's always it's good for the crowds to see that.
Speaking of getting crowds riled up, isn't tomorrow your Colgate University speech or presentation?
Yeah, that's where I am right now. I'm in a hotel near Colgate University in New York State, which is very different from New York City, which it's very different. It's more rural and country. But I'm going to do a lecture tomorrow on balancing collegiate workload with pro gaming. And I'm going to hopefully do it live, have it streamed on my channel too, so people can rewatch it and share it and do whatever they want. I'm just going to really be honest and really tell what my 4 years at the University of Florida were like while trying to be a competitor. I'm going to try to list down the events that I went to while I was in college and sort of see how big of a difference it was. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a good thing, and I think if it goes really well, it'll be a talk that I would love to give at more colleges. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, you could have a North American tour and become a well-known speaker.
That's the dream.
Yeah,
drink
really
beer
cool.
with everything on campus. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and hopefully the next hotel will have a little bit better Wi-Fi reception. So if anybody's wondering, like, we have kind of garbled voice, that's why. But we mostly can hear you, so we get what's going on. And you guys have anything else you want to throw out there before Matt gets on the line with us?
Yeah, I guess we could talk about even outside of the changing of the guards at the very top. We saw some upsets even around, the top 50-ish level players at Big House. And that was especially surprising for Melee because Melee, for the longest time has been just so hard to crack in terms of just the top 20 or even top 50. It's usually been the same mix of people just interchanged in a couple spots here and there. But Big House is really the first tournament in a really long time on Melee's side where we saw players who were either unseeded or, generally in the bottom, bracket of the event actually come out on top. Like we saw L, for example, take out Ty and Wizrobe, and that was huge. His Twitter is literally random NorCal Fox. So that speaks volumes as to like how significant a victory like that is over someone like Ty and Wizrobe. So yeah, huge props to all the Melee players that are really climbing and showing that, this game's one of the hardest ones out there, but there might be a changing of the guard coming soon. And it's not only good for the spectators, but, it's motivating for the competitors too. I'm sure a lot of people are leaving Big House inspired and wanting to, grind and level up. I saw it myself at one of the weeklies I just hosted this week. People that I hadn't seen in forever, but came out to Big House. I saw them yesterday, and they're just like, yeah, like I got the fuel in me, man. I got the fire burning now that I saw Plup and all these other players make these incredible upsets. So yeah, I'm honestly incredibly excited to see what the landscape of Smash is, not only in the latter half of this year, but moving forward in next year as well. I think we're going to see a lot more upsets, a lot more people hungry and ready to climb the ranks.
Yeah, just in Smash 4 too, Cosmos and Mars went on a tear.
Great.
And MVD even.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is like what fuels people to actually attend their events, and I'm hoping that extends to our CSL locals coming up this weekend. And with that, we do have Matt from the original TMG founder and now Smash GG coming on the line with us. So thanks for being with us, HungryBox. I'm sure we'll see you next week.
All right,
good luck with the talk.
Yep, congrats on Big House and the Colgate stuff as well. We'll see you around.
Yeah, good luck, man.
All right. I'll see you guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Peace.
All right, so now we're here with MattDotZeb, the founder of the Melee Games, which is now the Melee division of CSL. We literally would not be here without him at all. This guy is like the godfather of collegiate Smash, and it's a pleasure to have him. So, Matt, thanks for joining us. And we were just talking about how some of the younger college age or college entry age players were making strides at Big House, Cosmos and Mars and Smash 4. Former TMG players like K-Pan in Melee, and that's just really exciting to me.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how the players have actually some people that you saw like in TMG in the past, like Zane and Faceroll, for example, have both participated in TMG. I believe Faceroll still actively does. I'm not sure if Zane is still at BTEC. I can't recall off the top of my head, but yeah, it's really cool when you see those players go through the crew battles and then also like start making names for themselves as well in the overall community.
Yeah, so I guess from this point, we'd definitely like to hear what starting up TMG was like for you. We covered it a little bit in our own words last week, but I mean, of course, it's best coming from you. So, what motivated you to start and how did it pick up?
Yeah, I guess the motivation was really just wanting to do something for a new group of players coming into the community. So TMG started right on the heels of the 2013 of the Smash Doc and of the massive fundraiser that happened for Evo 2013, and the community started booming. And TMG started in New England. It was first idealized as a specific to Boston thing. And, we started having weeklies that would just grow and grow and grow. And we have people coming in like, hey, yeah, I go to Harvard, I go to MIT, I go to Northeastern, I go to UMass Boston, coming to these events, people that we'd never seen at tournaments before. And, I've always kind of had a focus on wanting to do things for lower level players. I started running amateur brackets, I think, back in 2010 at my tournaments. And, I know it's important for people that aren't your ingrained players, the people who haven't been playing for a very long time or aren't the, top of the skill ladder, for them to have things outside of just a regular tournament bracket. And my thought was that for TMG, my thought was that we could come up with something that would involve all of the schools in the area, help people meet other people within their schools, and make them feel more connected to the community as a whole. I had some brainstorming with some local players, and also the person who's personally my inspiration as a TO is Solid Jake. Got together and talked about it in about November, December of 2013, and we came up with the name in, I think, December or January. We were just at a dinner with a group of people, and someone threw it out there, and I was like, that's got to be it. And, we started it up as a crew battle league, and we thought that the first teams we thought the teams that would sign up would be, maybe 6 teams from Boston or something. The first team to actually ever have signed up for Melee games was the University of Connecticut. They were the first team to hit 5 people. And that was really all it was to qualify yourself as being able to participate, was you just needed 5 people to sign up. And, UConn did it, and they're 2 or 3 hours from Boston. So it was very surprising to me that they were the first ones, but it really showed that, people are very excited about this. We ended up having 10 teams that season. It went great. A majority of the matches happened on Tuesday nights on our weekly. And, I remember even UConn drove out on a Tuesday night to play in TMG. People from Worcester came out, taking an hour and a half train ride to play in it and everything. So that's kind of how it got its start. We wrapped it up at this tournament, NSA, Northeastern Smash Attack. And that was at the time the biggest tournament in New England. Had I think 200 people, something like that, 230 people or so. Finals were great. Got to commentate that with D1. It was really exciting as UMass Boston and MIT were kind of the 2 heavy hitters at the time. And, from there, it just kind of seemed like we were onto something. And my friend, he doesn't really TO much anymore, but Jesse Hectohertz, founder of the Nebula series, had recently moved to New York from Rhode Island. And he's living in New York City, and he says, hey, why don't we, do a fun little New York City, Boston crew battle sort of thing. And that turned into doing the second season of the Melee Games, which was that fall of 2014, which included Tri-State, which was upstate New York, New York City, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania as its own division, and New England as its own division. And then we had the winners playoff at Apex 2015 in a grand final set that many people never saw for 11 months. Shout outs to Gimmer for not uploading that, not having that on stream. But it was very exciting. It was last stock. I think it was, I want to say it was Columbia, I believe, that won that one over UMass Boston. But yeah, and then from there it just kind of kept growing. We're like, all right, well, what more can we do? We're just bringing more and more and more into TMG. Started expanding into the Mid-Atlantic area, MDVA, into California, and then just going from there.
Well, dude, I mean, had you not done that, again, Joe and I would not be with CSL. We would have never started Smash 4 Collegiate, and it just would have been a dead scene, or just your local collegiate group of bros who like to get together and play. And bros and sisses, of course. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Smash Sisters, by the way, yeah. Which we just want to foreshadow real quick. We've reached out to Lillian, aka Milk Tea from Smash Sisters, and there's definitely some room to grow together between those 2 organizations. Yeah, so just something for the future for any ladies who are tuning in. But yeah, anyway, again, this is the path that got us here. And now, of course, TMG has, since 2014, when it was just Tri-State versus New England, or originally starting as just a New England local project, it's blown up to, of course, the entire national scale, including parts of Canada as well. Joe, that's how you got looped into things, running TMG in Ontario.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's awesome to see it have come so far. And now we have like a legitimate budget and prize pool and stuff. And of course, we're glad to still have you as like a guiding force for us, even though you're busy at Smash GG and stuff. Again, like we need your guidance and seriously appreciate all the help you've been giving us. So big shout outs to Matt and Big Blue, of course. Also Hectohertz, who's been out of the picture for a while, but another very important founding father of TMG.
Yeah, no, Jesse was definitely, he was like considered the right-hand man to TMG for quite a while. And, you know, honestly, TMG, as we were working on it, as we were growing it, scaling it became a very clear problem. And we definitely struggled with that, you know, for the last few seasons where, you know, we're dealing with hundreds of schools all over the country, without any real funding, with, you know, just a handful of people in the community saying like, yeah, let's just try to do this. You know, so it was definitely a little bit difficult, but it was also very exciting. You know, we got to, I still have people come up to me saying like, hey, you know, TMG really helped me get into the community. And I think one big part of you know, at least for New England, you know, where I was firsthand seeing the growth, you know, TMG really, it accomplished what I was hoping it would in terms of locking people into the community and helping them come back and meet other people and going to tournaments and being excited about the game and, you know, making friends within the school and within their tournaments. You know, it definitely accomplished what we wanted it to. You know, and some people still like, you know, say like if we didn't have TMG in New England, the New England scene probably wouldn't have grown to the scale that it did. And, you know, that's just a really cool thing to have kind of almost stumbled into. And, you know, I remember the first time we had to publish lineups for TMG, I was like so excited. I was sitting at a Facebook post, like waiting until a certain time with all the players for the 2 teams or 3 or however many teams. Just like super pumped, was ready to post it, you know. So it's really cool to see that, you know, while I can't do the same amount of work for TMG now, you know, as you guys know, it's a very crazy project. You know, it takes a lot of work, and you know, at Smash EG, you know, I've got my hands full, and so you know, seeing it at the point that it is now, with you guys heading it and with CSL backing it. I'm pretty darn happy about that.
Dude, it's our pleasure, man. This has really been a sick ride for just, you know, the past month and change that we've been officially part of CSL. And I mean, we've talked about the roots, you know, and kind of where we're at presently, but let's look 4 days into the future, or 3 or 4 days into the future, at the next upcoming qualifiers. We've got Texas on Saturday, and we've got New England South on Sunday. So that's the Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, half of the region. So, I mean, you're our resident New England TMG expert, man. You're like the founder. So the schools that signed up, I mean, some of the hands down most recognizable college names in the country. It's crazy to see like these schools that I probably wouldn't have gotten into as part of a league that I'm now helping operate. Like we have Harvard, MIT, Brandeis, Brown, Northeastern, Boston College, UMass Amherst. Dude, like that's a ridiculously solid lineup. We have 7 teams already signed up for Melee, doing pretty well. Smash 4 kids, got to get on that reg, by the way, if you're watching this. But yeah, Matt, like what are these particular schools, and of course UMass Boston, who has not yet signed up, but I know they're going to because they have a very strong root in this program. Like, you know, what has been the history between these universities? So
MIT started out TMG and as one of the stronger teams in the Northeast. Something just to kind of, before I start digging in, something that I think is really cool about TMG is that no school is always the best because, I mean, people graduate, new people come in. So for a while, MIT was the strongest. UMass Boston would have been the second. Brown, Boston College were historically kind of weaker schools. Amherst is far and away the biggest scene in New England for college. They have easily well over 100 people on their Smash Club, and when we do TMG signups, usually they I don't know if they're embracing it as much this season, but we used to kind of have a fun competition between them and Rutgers as to who would sign up the most people. And, Amherst would get 63 people signed up for Melee games just to have the largest number. They'd ping their whole Smash Club, be like, hey guys, you got to sign up. And Harvard has just always seemed to have been this really all-round school. Never the best, never the worst, but always with potential. And, so you'd always see MIT win out for the first few seasons. It's more so Northeastern now that I'd say is probably the strongest. Also Brandeis, very, very strong school as well. But, Northeastern is in New England right now, definitely the best team. I mean, just starting off, they have Crush. And
very strong.
No other school has a player like Crush. And then they have Younger, they have Floorboards, they have Squibble. All of these people are very, very solid players.
That team is ridiculous.
Real quick, Matt, you would not believe this. Joe and I ran into Squibble's mother on the streets of Toronto at work on our lunch break a couple weeks ago. She saw my Smash shirt. I had the Challenger Approaching one on. And she's like, oh, Super Smash Bros? My son plays that. And we're like, oh, no way. Is he in college? And she's like, yeah. He goes to school in Massachusetts.
She was pumped about TMG, man. She was so excited about it once we told her about the program.
That's funny.
But dang, that team sounds stacked. Squibble and Crush alone, they can do heavy damage. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some other strong players, or one particularly for Smash 4, is Matty G. He's the Cloud player from UMass Amherst, I believe. And he's definitely going to make a splash. For Smash 4, I could see him, literally taking 15 stocks himself. He's really good. But we'll have to see as the Smash 4 registrations roll in what other high-level players are in the New England South region. And then I guess flipping over to Texas, which is the day before New England. Both games have a pretty solid amount of teams. We've got University of Houston. They're in both games. UT, Arlington, and San Antonio campuses. LSU, University of Oklahoma, just Texas A&M University. A lot of, again, big relevant schools in Southwest, in Texas particularly, and also Oklahoma and Louisiana. So I know there's a player named Brawler G31 who's playing for LSU. He's one of the best in that state behind Captain Zach and Sam Sora. Definitely a player to look out for. I believe he's Lil Mac and Cloud too. So yeah, I mean, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the collegiate scene, there are a lot of hidden killers. And this is just in regions that aren't even particularly stacked. We saw in Cali, Shaky is part of the UC Davis team, even though he wasn't able to make it this past weekend. Travante and Cerrone were both on their squad last year, but they graduated since. Then we've got players like James and Zone, and just Rutgers is always stacked for Smash 4. They're going to be really tough. University of Florida had Day, Saj last year. I'm not sure if they're still current students, but still, there are killers in collegiate Smash, and I think that's the most important thing to take home from this. It's not just your random local guys. It's a good mix of very high and low level competition, and you won't have a top player carry a whole team, but you also won't have a low level player drag down the whole team. That's the most exciting part.
It's about depth, really. I think you can't have one good player and everybody else just being really bad. That might win you an early round or two, in the career battle rounds. But once you get up to the regional levels and such, and anything beyond that, the players themselves are all a higher average skill level. So, you see teams that have, just solid all-rounders beating teams that are, that you would think are a much higher level.
All right, so we're getting close to wrap-up time, guys. I mean, I've pretty much said my piece on all the relevant matters. I'm definitely looking forward to the qualifiers this weekend. Of course, you can catch them on twitch.tv/CStarLeague. Definitely some high-level talent going to be in the building for both games. And if you're watching in advance, sign up. You have 24 hours before your actual event. So that's going to be 12 p.m. to your local time, Friday for Texas and Saturday for New England. So Joe and Matt, I'll let you guys just close it out.
All right. Final thoughts. I mean, we left last episode feeling inspired from, the spectacle of GTX and what that brought to Smash. And, I'm leaving this past weekend at Big House feeling just the same way. So many up-and-coming players just taking out names, so many upsets. The future of the game looks bright. And on top of that, it's a lot of young players, young up-and-coming players that haven't been playing for too long that are starting to make waves. So in terms of, bringing that back to the collegiate scene, if you're a student right now and you're looking to get involved in the community and you're looking for a platform to sort of make waves, sign up for CSL, come out to an event. Even if you don't have a team, come through just for singles, come through to spectate, meet some homies. Because, it seems like, the sky's the limit right now for the metagame, especially for Smash 4. So, don't feel intimidated by all these big names or all these pros. That could be you one day if you put in enough time. So, yeah.
You can train with them, too.
Exactly.
All right, Matt.
I just want to see this do well, man. I want to see, people from pretty much wherever get involved in TMG and see and still calling it Smash 4 Collegiate, right? And TMG and Smash 4 Collegiate, I think right now this is all just generally based in North America, and I think that as people show their support for the current season and future ones, this can become a much larger, more global thing. And, so if you are a student out there, I hope you do find some people that, if your school doesn't have a scene, grab some friends, participate, come out to the event. You'll love it. People will love to have you. So definitely just check it out if you can.
All right, guys. Well, thanks again. And I think the most important takeaway from this is that a college scene can become a community of its own. You don't have to start with X amount of top players, just you and your buddies, and maybe one local guy who's really good can help blossom an entire beautiful field of Smash flowers. So that's the thought I'm going to leave on. Thanks a lot, guys. Tune into Smash Course every week. We're going to be dropping most likely on Thursdays. So, take care, and we'll see you later.